Joining me now is Indiana Congressman Jim Banks, Republican Study Committee Chair Stephen Miller, founder of American First Legal and former Trump senior advisor, as well as Molly Hemingway, Fox News contributor and author of the new bestseller, Rigged. Congressman Banks, this is turning out to be just a lose-lose for the Democrats. If they don't pass the bill, it's a failure. But if either of these bills passes, it's an economic disaster.
Yeah, Laura, just like last month, the Democrats remain in disarray today. Joe Biden wanted so badly to go to Europe and brag to his foreign leader buddies that he passed a Green New Deal bill today. But the Democrats didn't give him that victory, and thank God. But it's too premature to declare victory because at 2 o'clock today, they came out with a framework for the new bill. And I can tell you the Republican Study Committee, which I lead, we've been sifting through the bill all afternoon, and it's just as socialist as the framework that they had before. But it's not just the price tag, it's what's in the bill. This bill will shut down your kid's daycare, or according to a left-leaning think tank, you'll have to pay $13,000 more per year to send your kid to daycare if this bill passes. It'll increase your gas taxes to heat your home. It's going to hire 87,000 new IRS agents to presumably rifle through and spy on your bank account records. It gives amnesty to illegals, child tax credits, and tuition assistance to illegals. I could go on, but this bill is just as dangerous as it was before. But now we have another month to expose it to the American people, and that's what I intend to do.
Now, Molly, the White House is in total denial that this legislative failure was even a failure at all.
I was with the president when he was up at the House Democratic Caucus. He got sustained standing ovations, and they chanted loudly and in unison, vote, 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 vote. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to vote.
But wait, Molly, they didn't vote, vote, vote. Okay, he left, he landed, no vote happened. This is hilarious coming from the woman who, claimed there was that video in Benghazi.
Chanting for a vote is, in fact, different than voting, and saying otherwise is silly. But the Biden administration keeps putting forth these arbitrary deadlines or dates by which they want something passed without dealing with the actual fundamental problem, which is not only was Biden elected not to do this type of spending. In fact, polls show that people are not looking for increased spending at a time they have such economic concern, but to handle coronavirus, that's the one thing that's what he promised he would do, has failed to do that. They did not want him to tear down border policy. They did not want him to destroy foreign policy. They did not want all of these things that he's now failing to get done, and there is not momentum there because this isn't actually what ails the country, and they're just trying to do this as distraction.
Now, Stephen, the constituents for this White House aren't really the American people, right? The constituents are the global elites he's going to meet with in Glasgow.
Yes, the constituents are globalists, billionaires, and illegal aliens. Those are the three constituencies, and the only three constituencies this bill delivers for. I want to first of all salute Congressman Jim Banks for breaking down what's in this bill. You can follow the Republican Study Committee on social media and read it for yourself. But just to illustrate your point, Laura, this bill taxes American energy, to make it more expensive to heat your home so we can become more reliant on foreign energy. This bill gives tax credits to illegal aliens that could amount to, say, for example, an illegal alien with 4 young kids who pays no taxes, who's a low-income family. They could get over $14,000 a year in free cash from the IRS under this bill. Plus amnesty, plus unlimited foreign workers for big tech, plus on the corporate tax side, it takes a sledgehammer to American manufacturers by taxing losses in their competitions with China and by getting rid of the incredible incentives President Trump passed to bring jobs to America that now are going to be ripped out if this bill passes. It should be called the Made in China bill.
Well, Democrats aren't only at each other's throats. It seems now, Congressman, they don't even trust each other.
If it's by itself, if it's a standalone, absolutely. I'm 100% a no. 100% no, and there is no getting me to a yes.
Senators Manchin and Sinema, you don't trust them?
No, absolutely. I don't trust them, and I don't owe that to them, and they don't have to trust me.
She wasn't in a great mood today when she was on TV, even though the progressives obviously have an enormous amount of influence. Congressman, shouldn't just Manchin and Sinema just, at this point, throw up their hands and say, this is now a bridge too far? I mean, the Democrats have killed off their own moderates. They're catering to the progressives, and they're too weak to stand up to them. Is this really the party of Sinema and Manchin anymore?
No, of course not. Not at all. And it's on full display. And the Democrats should change their name to the Socialist Party because that's who they are. And they've proven it once again, just like they proved it last month. I can tell you, Laura, riding up and down in the elevators today at the Capitol was a lot of fun because the Democrats are very tense. They're mad at each other. And it's pouring over on full display so everybody can see it because the socialists won again today. The socialist wing of the Democrat Party won again today. They blew up the deal. And some of the more, there's no such thing as a moderate Democrat anymore, but the more traditional Democrats are getting frustrated about it, but they're in the vast majority of the party. This isn't my grandpa's Democrat Party anymore. It's Bernie Sanders' party.
Yeah, San Fran Gran Nan seems to be losing a little bit of her juice there, Molly. I mean, she was the master vote whipper, and they've missed, I think, 3 deadlines now under Pelosi's leadership. Maybe, octogenarians need to step aside and let the younger people run things.
Except what's also the case is that we have a narrowly divided House. It's about as narrow as it's ever been divided. We have a completely divided Senate. We have a president who won election by 43,000 votes across 3 states. This is not a mandate for radical change and shoving through a bill that has extreme provisions that will add so much more problems to the economy when we're already struggling to add jobs, when we already have a high tax burden on small businesses and businesses that do work overseas. This is not in any way what we were told would happen if we voted the way that the media wanted us to vote in the last election. So it's, yes, she's done a bad job whipping, but it's also just because they don't really actually have much of a majority in the House, and they're completely tied elsewhere.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders didn't win the nomination, but it almost looks like he did here. Stephen, real quick, the Wall Street Journal is reporting tonight that the Biden administration is in talks, I don't know with whom, to offer immigrant families, that means illegal immigrant families, that were separating during the Trump administration, around $450,000 a person in compensation? Stephen, can this be accurate?
Yes, in fact, it's completely accurate. It's what's called the collusive settlement. Illegal aliens suing the federal government for cash, and the government saying, oh, well, we'll give you all the cash that you want. It's collusion. Let's be very clear. This is what happens when you go from an America First to an America Last presidency. America First under Trump, now America Last under Biden. These individuals were put in jail for breaking federal law. American families who go to jail and are separated get no cash compensation. They want to give $500,000 to every illegal immigrant who went to jail and was separated. That's insane.
Now, panel, great to see all of you tonight. Thank you.